Welcome to my class student. It's class 8 English grammar. We are doing chapter 7. This is session 1. In this session we will learn what are verbs and what are its forms. So this is the introductory session, introduction plus auxiliary verb. Let's see what's there in this session. Now, what are verbs? As you know, verbs are all action words. So we can write verbs as action words. So, verbs are action words. The verb signals an action, an occurrence or a state of being. Whether mental, physical or mechanical, verbs always express activity. Always remember activity. Action is associated with verbs. There are 3 categories of verbs. Action verbs, then state of being or linking verbs and helping verbs. State of being or linking verbs and then last is the helping verbs. So you are seeing there are 3 categories of verbs. 3 categories of verbs. Action, state of being or linking verbs and helping verbs. So here what is verbs? The verb signals an action, an occurrence or a state of being, whether mental, physical or mechanical. I am sad. See? So, verbs always expresses activity. There are 3 categories of verbs. Action verbs, state of being, linking verbs and helping verbs. Now, state of being, I am a teacher. Right? So, that is the state of being. And helping verbs are also there. So, with the example, we will come to know about this. Now, action verbs, I love cheese, I grate cheese, I use cheese, whatever the action you can use. Linking verbs or state of being, I am a teacher. Helping verbs, I will play the flute, I will be a teacher. So, helping verb will M-S-R. Now, helping verbs are not main verbs. A helping verb together with action or linking verb is called phrasal verb. So, we have one different kind of again phrasal verb. And these are what? These are the helping verb together with action or linking verb. That is called phrasal verb. Now, finite and non-finite verbs. There are mainly 2 types of verbs in English, finite and non-finite. Finite verbs change their forms when there is a change in the number or persons. Right? Now, number or person of the subject. And finite verbs also have different form in different tenses. For example, as you know, there are 3 tenses, past, present and future. So, finite verbs have different forms in 3 tenses, right? Non-finite verbs do not change their forms when the number or person of the subject changes. There are mainly 3 types of non-finite verbs. These are called infinitives, gerunds and participles. For example, infinitives, to go, and gerunds, singing is one of my hobbies. And then speed is a verb. So, present participle is speeding. Speeding is present participle. So, whatever the number of person, these will remain the same. So, these are called non-finite verbs. And in finite verbs with numbers and with person, it changes. If you see here, see number, if there is singular, if it is singular, so he has 3 dogs, right? Now, if plural, they have. So, with number you are seeing it changes. Now, here finite, if it is singular, he eats nuts, right? And Here they eat nuts. So as, es, whatever with singular and plural, finite verb always changes. Now one more thing. Eat is in present, it is eat. In past, it is ate. And with third form, it is eaten. So you are saying there are different forms also. Eat, ate, eaten. So they change their forms when there is a change in the number of person and when they are different tenses. So finite verbs always change. But non-finite verbs don't change. They remain the same, whatever the number or whatever the persons they are. Now, exercise. Nancy does her homework every day. You will have to say does is finite or non-finite. Nancy is doing her homework at the moment. They are writing a letter. She speaks Chinese very well. He has a big car. The proposal has been examined today. Now, does, doing, are, speaks, has been. These are you will have to say. Now, she tried to help him to laugh at problems. Finding the gates widely open, the thief went inside. He had his car cleaned. You will have to say whether these are finite or non-finite. Finite or non-finite verbs. Okay? You need to say finite or non-finite. So, always remember this is does with singular. It is does. So, what is that? Here is doing. Doing is what? Non-finite I have told. Gerund is there. Participle is there. Right? So, whether it will be finite or non-finite, first you do this. Answer is there, but you will have to do it first. Answer is there. Right? Does is a finite verb because it changes with number and person. Doing is a non-finite because it won't change with number and person. Are is a finite with singular or plural it changes. Speaks is a finite verb because it changes with tenses. Has is a finite verb with tenses, with person, number it changes. Been is non-finite verb because it remains the same. And tried is a finite verb with number of person and tenses it changes. To laugh is a non-finite because whatever the number of person or tenses it will remain the same. Finding is again non-finite because it is a gerund. So whatever the number of person it remains the same. And clean is again non-finite because it is a past participle. Whatever the number of person it remains the same. Now next. There are the transitive and intransitive verbs. A transitive verb denotes an action which passes over from the doer or subject to an object. That means transitive means passing over. We is a subject, kick is an action or verb, the football is an object. So, action is passing over to object. We kick the football. So, transitive, passing by. So, this is transitive. I feel a severe pain in my stomach. I is a subject, feel is an action. A severe pain is object in my stomach. So, how will you understand transitive or intransitive? Always remember, transitive verb you can make it in a passive voice also. We kick the football. The football is kicked by us. Whenever you are making passive by this type of sentence, you can understand, yes, this is transitive verb because object is there, right? Now next, intransitive verb denotes an action which does not pass over to an object or which expresses a state or being. He ran a long distance. See, there is no object. This is action. The baby sleeps. This is state of being. There is a flow in this diamond. That is being. Right? Then exercise on transitive and intransitive. She was crying all day long. Here you will have to find whether the object is there or not, or you just simply think whether you can make this sentence, whether you can turn this sentence into passive or not. She was crying all day long. We showed her the photo album. The doctor advised me to exercise regularly. That means subject or object you will have to find, and if you find subject or object, that is transitive verb. It was raining at that time. She laughed at the joke. Now here, she was crying all day long. Are you seeing any object here? Then what is this? You better understand. We showed her the photo album. Object always asks who, what, right? After the verb. So, we showed whom or what? We showed her. That means object is there. So, wherever there is object, it is what? You know it. The doctor advised me. So, object. See, to find object, always ask who or what. That is after verb. After verb. Right? So, who, what, after verb you will have to write. We will have to ask. Here, verb is showed, and so this is object and this is subject. And for subject, before verb you will have to ask who, what. Then that is subject. To know the subject, we will have to ask who, what, that is before verb. Before verb. So, in this way you get your subject, in this way you get your object. Understood now? So, it becomes very easy for you to find out what is transitive and what is intransitive. It was raining at that time. It was raining. Raining is the verb. Are you getting any who, what after that? No. She laughed at the joke. Right? Now this is laughed at is a phrasal verb. She gave a cookie to the child. Now gave, then you can ask who, what. You are getting the answer, a cookie. They slept in the street. You are not getting who, what after the verb. I ate the cherries. You know what is who or what. I ate what? The cherries. So you know what is this verb. My father doesn't drink coffee. My father doesn't drink what? You know the answer, coffee. So transitive or intransitive you can understand. He always keeps his money in a wallet. He always keeps what? His money. So you will have to find whether it is transitive or intransitive. Answer is there, but you will have to first do it by your own. All answers are here. Now next, here the answers. Now auxiliary verbs. Auxiliary or helping verbs are used together with a main verb to show the verb's tense or to form a negative or question. Very important. Tense. If it is present, so with number and person, it is am, is, are, right? Do, does. If it is past, now has, have is also here. Has, have, right? And when it is past, then did and had, right? And was, were. Okay. And when it is future, it is simple will, shall. Future, will and shall. Simple. These are auxiliary verbs. So, it shows the tenses. Form a negative or question. You always know that auxiliary comes first when you make a question sentence, right? Interrogative sentences. The most common auxiliary verbs are have, be and do. they add detail to how time is conveyed in a sentence. Right? With the tenses, they give you the detail also. Now, next. It creates the most complicated verb tenses, the progressive and the perfect aspect. So you can understand whether the tense is progressive or the perfect. So you can understand with the auxiliary verb which tense is there. These verbs also function to convey complicated shades of meaning like expectations, permission, probability, potential, obligation and direction. Without helping verb, you cannot clear the feelings, the meanings of these emotions, right? Permission, may I come in, right? Like that. Expectations, probability, potential, obligation and direction. Now there is a list, though I have written there, here list is also here. To be, am, is, are, was, were, be, being, been. These are used in progressive tenses and passive voices, verbs. To have, has, had. These are used in perfect tenses. To do, does, did. These are emphatic verbs. So you have a list of this also. Now conditional verbs are also there. These are called modal auxiliaries. So could, should, would, can, shall, will, may, might, must. These are your conditionals. Now some exercises. Tell me. Here you will have to write auxiliary verbs. They dash finish the job. What dash you do every Sunday? I dash like to watch TV. There's a good film on. She does not want to stay at home. You will have to write the meaning. Fill in the blanks. He does call me twice this morning. What does she do in her free time? Where does they go yesterday? Whatever you feel, you just feel, but it must be correct, then you check it. She does always wanted to meet him. What does they doing when you came in? Now answers are there. Tell me, are you coming to the party? Are you coming? All the answers are here. You will have to first do it by your own. All the answers are here. So, what have you learned? We have learned different types of verbs. Introduction we learned finite and non-finite verb. We learned transitive and intransitive verbs. We learned auxiliary verbs. We have the list of verbs, and with the exercises we know how to write the correct form of verbs. So, continue with this, revise it, have a good revision, and in the next class I will be here with some more interesting chapters of grammar. Till then, goodbye. Thank you.